Hello, in this video I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks available on OnePlus Nord for 5G. I tried to find some interesting tips and tricks that might be helpful for you in some way or the other. So let's get right into it. The first thing that we're gonna do is open the settings, and one of the, I think, most useful things that I could find is the beacon link, especially if you tend to call a lot and especially if you have troubles with your signals. So in the settings, we want to go to mobile network, and over here we have beacon link. If you go over here, we can read the description that you can call. Let's see if so we have to, before we can actually use it, we need to use the OnePlus account. But of course we can just use our phone number or sign in by using Google. So let's actually proceed with that. I'm gonna sign in with Google. Let's agree and sign in. And of course I'm gonna use my account, simple as that. Of course, we will need to set a password, the birth date, and country/region, so let's skip that quickly. And of course, once the password is entered, we can agree to the privacy note and account user agreements, and we can press next. Now let's wait a bit. Sign in with fingerprint. We can turn this option on. We need to use our fingerprint. There we go. And now we can simply enable the beacon link. So after allowing all those permissions, we can detect other devices in order to call them. So we can call people nearby, even if we don't have an internet connection or if we don't have the mobile signal. And in order to use this feature, we need to enable Bluetooth, but ideally you don't want to have anything connected to Bluetooth. So you want to have the Bluetooth enabled, but no Bluetooth device connected. And of course, every other person that also has beacon link can discover you, can find you in this list, for instance. And then you can also select if you want to be called by your contacts only, so only those contacts that you have saved, or by everyone for 2 hours. You can also change the display name if needed, so you can, for instance, enter your name if you want to. And I think that's pretty cool, especially in situations where like I said, you tend to lose signals a lot, your mobile signal of course, and you might be in a situation where you need to call someone, pretty much. So this is definitely helpful, especially if your friend or someone else or the other person has the same feature available on their device. So now, after going back to settings, another thing that I want to show you is always on display, because perhaps you may have not know about this, but if you go to wallpapers and style, you have always on display available on this device, and you can actually turn it on. Of course, the battery will be used a little bit more with this option enabled, but if you prefer to have this fancy screen, then of course you can enable it, and you can also customize it. You can even personalize it by creating custom patterns, canvas, and so on and so forth. So if you're a fan of AOD, then this is definitely a good news for you. You can use it. Now let's go back. Still in wallpapers and style, we can scroll down to find edge lightning, and this option is also disabled by default, at least it was in my case, and you can actually turn it on by selecting one of these 3 colors. So you can have blue, red, or 3 edge lightnings. And yeah, if you also are a fan of this thing, then that's also good news for you. Okay, so another thing that is also not enabled by default is the higher resolution of the screen. So in the settings, we want to go to display and brightness. And then over here, we can go to screen resolution. And now, as you can see, we have standard and high, which is a little bit better quality. So we can switch it to high, and that should make the image a little bit sharper compared to the standard option. Of course, if you want to save your battery, then you should definitely use the standard version instead of the high one, as the high version or high screen resolution uses a little bit more battery. Now let's go back. This time we're gonna go to battery settings, and over here what you may want to use is the smart rapid charging. This is pretty much the fast charging option that can be enabled over here. So when you charge your device with the included high rate charger, smart rapid charging will increase the charging speed if it detects a situation where you need to charge your device quickly, and your device will get a little bit warmer during charging as an exchange. So if you prefer to have smart rapid charging or fast charging, then you can enable this option by tapping on the slider over here. While still being in battery, we can also go to more settings in the battery settings, and over here we have additional options that some people may not notice. And one of them is the high performance mode, so we can get the best possible performance out of your device, but of course it may also increase power consumption and cause your device to heat up. But if you want your device to work a little bit better, for instance for gaming or for something similar where you need to use lots of power and you want your device to be as best as possible, then of course the high performance mode is recommended. We can also optimize the battery usage, so we can automatically optimize power usage when apps are draining battery in the background. So if you go over here, you can select which apps should be included. So for instance, over here we have Facebook. It is not optimized by default, but we can select auto optimize, or we can select always ask. If you know that certain apps use lots of battery, like for instance YouTube or TikTok or something else, then you may want to auto optimize the app immediately. And of course we also have the sleep standby optimization, where your device consumes less power and sends fewer notifications when you are asleep. And we also have the app battery management, so if you select any app over here, then you can allow foreground activity as well as background activity. And you can also force stop the app if needed. Alright, so now that we have the battery settings covered, another thing that I want to show you is in users and accounts still in settings. And this option seems to be more and more popular as it appears in more devices. But you can create multiple users. That allows you to create different users for the same device. And every user has their own settings, their own passwords, their own apps, and own files. So if you tend to share your device with someone, then you can create your own user. And once you create the user, if you want to change it, then of course, if you run it for the first time, you will have this initial configuration that you have also when you run the device for the first time, when you purchase it. So it's like having a new device for separate user. And like I said, everything is separated. With the multiple users option enabled, if you want to change the user, you want to open the quick access like so, and then over here you should find the icon of your profile of your user, and you can tap it in order to go to guest, add another user, or select another user. And yeah, so that's definitely useful for someone who shares their device with someone, or if you for instance want to have two instances for your phone, for instance one for personal use and other for work. All right, so now once we have covered, I think, most of the settings, but we'll get back to them in a short. But now, since we are in the home screen, I want to show you those large folders. Perhaps you have noticed them, that there are small folders like these default ones over here, and you can also make a larger folder. Now the benefit of the large folder is that you can see apps that are located in the folder, and you can also swipe in these folders. And you don't have to go inside the folder in order to open the app that is in that folder. So for instance, over here, I have, for instance, my files app over here, this yellow one. And usually when you want to open an app that is in the folder, you want to open the folder and then tap on the app. However, with this big folder, you want to simply tap on the icon in order to immediately open it. So this is definitely a good way to maximize the space or implement as much apps as possible in one spot, and you can group them like so in the home screen in order to have it organized a little bit better. In order to create such a folder, you can simply create your own folder. So you can, for instance, drag and drop the app one to the other like so. Let's actually move this one. And now you want to press and hold your finger on the folder, and then you have the option enlarge folder. And there we go. Now it's converted to the big one. And if you want to make it smaller again, press and hold one more time and then choose shrink folder. There we go, simple as that. Now we're gonna go back to the quick access, so we're gonna open it like so. And of course, if you want to turn on or off the flashlight, you have this button over here. As you can see, it turns on the flashlight and turns off, but perhaps you didn't know this. that if you press and hold your finger on the flashlight, you can actually select the power of the flashlight, so it can be a little bit brighter if needed. And this is how you can make it brighter and also turn it off. Next thing that I want to show you is in the settings. So this is still related to the flashlight, by the way, so we can go to the settings, and I want to show you one more thing. Then go to accessibility and convenience. Then we want to go to gestures and motions, and then over here we have turn on and off flashlight with volume button. So you can actually use the volume button in order to turn on or off the flashlight. You want to press the volume down button actually, and when the screen is off, then this is how it works. So let's actually turn the screen off, and if you press volume down, we need to press and hold it, then we have the flashlight enabled, and if you press and hold it one more time, then you will turn it off. Simple as that. Let's open the device. There we go. And let's get back to the accessibility. So this time in accessibility settings, we have something also pretty cool, and that is the, let me actually try to find it. Oh, we need to go to accessibility first at the top. There we go. So now we are in the accessibility, and over here we need to find the option that is called, I don't think it's actually here. Alright, so I just didn't notice it. It was here actually. In accessibility and convenience, we have the smart sidebar. If you're a fan of the smart sidebar, then this is how we can enable it. And what you can do is pretty much have a quick access to different apps. You will see the welcome message at first, so we can press get started. And over here you have all your apps or shortcuts to apps. You can even create a screenshot over here. You can screen translate if you want to. You can also edit the screen, the sidebar, and add some of your own apps over here. And we can also find the file deck and recent files over here. Pretty cool stuff if you wish to use a sidebar like so. Of course, you can, I don't think you can actually move it, but you can actually use it like so. Yeah, so you can still move it. What you can do is drag it from the top over here and drop it a little bit down in order to reposition it a little bit. And then you can have it, for instance, more in the middle of the screen. Pretty cool stuff. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next videos. Bye.